Hey guys, it's Sky, and thank you for connecting with me, and thank you to the people who have written into me or wrote into me and expressed interest and had questions, and I hope I can get to everybody's questions, and I hope I answer them all. I'm going to try to cover quite a bit. So again, thank you, and let's get right to it. I want to talk about the ETs and our involvement with the government. And the thing is I just want to express how I got involved with this. I was not out. This is very important because this is not just happening to me. This is happening to thousands of people around the planet in different corners of the world, and we're all coming up with the same information, and we have nothing to do with each other. It's just an awakening that's happening on the planet, and it can't not happen because Mother Earth, Gaia, as we know it, has moved through for a 26,000 year cycle, and as predicted, this is science, this is prophecy, she's changing. Now her DNA is connected to our DNA. The electromagnetic fields around our body is connected to her fields around her body. She has chakras, energy points, vortexes that runs along the earth, the meridian lines, just like we do. We can't help but be connected. We are all one. Everything's connected. So as she's changing, we're changing, and what's happening to many people is that we're getting what's called the DNA upgrade, or a third eye awakening. A kundalini is what they call in Hinduism. Awakening the Akashic records, waking up and awakening to our higher selves. And in this awakening, we are very privy to an intense amount of information, and generally people want to try to discredit that information and say it's not real, it's not happening, and you know, they want proof and they want science. And well, we don't need any more science. There's enough science. And then proof, like, if you're not, I always tell people, we're going from the left portions of our brain, which has been dominating this planet for a very long time, to the right matriarchal female portions of the brain, which is just a cycle. It's cyclical. We run in cycles. So the right portion of our brain, now the left portion of our brain, we've been very conditioned to up, down, right and left, linear. The left portion of our brain is the creative, the what you can't see. What you have to know is we live in a hologram. We live in a matrix. And outside of that matrix, when you take away your senses, there's the light. There's only the light. And we live in this hologram, and it's been conditioned by the left side of the brain for a very long time. Very, very long time. It's just the way it's been. And now we're switching, and now it's the time the female portions of our brain are gonna ignite, and they have ignited. Many has ignited. We used to be like this a long time ago, and we are transferring. And now that we are, what is happening is many people are waking up to the right portions of their brain. In that awakening, we all have the same information. It doesn't change. And the information is that we are all one. We are operating under the universal law of oneness. Now, whether that oneness includes a lower vibration or a higher dimension, it doesn't matter. We're all one. And what portion of that vibration you choose to experience is going to be up to you. So it's really important that we stay focused on what is going on. Now, many people are awakening to the fact that we're not alone, and that when our Earth, Gaia, lines up at the center of our galaxy, you have to remember our Sun and our Earth is going to be lined up with the rest of the galaxy. So we have opened our portholes, we've opened our dimensions to other galaxies. There's other, we're going to have access for a very long time. This planet has been under quarantine. That means that we have been, our knowledge has been blocked off. And these other races, like I said, we're not alone. These other races too have not been permitted to come to our galaxy. So in the 2012 movement, as is agreed in history and civilizations, this quarantine is going to be lifted, and we're all going to have access to these higher dimensions. and to these lower dimensions. Now, but these other galaxies, though, these other dimensions and these other races, many of us have already had access to this. Our government has access to these other interdimensional beings. You can call them interdimensional, you can call them galaxies, you can call them right here in frequencies higher, however you want to put that in category. And I wouldn't get too caught up in labels, because if you start trying to figure things out with your logic brain, you're going to limit your information, and that's not going to be that's not going to move you forward. So I wouldn't try to logic this out. So what we have been privy, when you awaken, you have knowledge that there's other beings, and that you have knowledge that these other beings have been working with a lot of our governments and a lot of scientists, a lot of light workers, and some is good, some is bad. You know, it's common knowledge now that there's some darker ET races. There's many, many higher evolved races. There's way more higher evolved races than there are ET races, such as the Greys and the Dracos and the reptilians. And, you know, I mean, it doesn't matter the category. There's enough to know that they've been working with us in our underground bases in the U.S. government since we dropped the atomic bomb and we went into their atmosphere. And our government made a deal, Eisenhower time, our government made a deal with the extraterrestrial races, and some negotiation happened, and we you know, some things took place and some things didn't. And we got technology, and sometimes that continues, and some is for good and some is not so good, and we really encourage the good. I mean, we are at a point now where we can't be oblivious to this, and many people want to shut the door and they want to go, "Oh, you're crazy." It's just so interesting. You're crazy, but when a third of the planet, most people believe in extraterrestrials now, but they not aware of the involvement that they actually have with us, because they're not educated on it. They just want to think that there's this green little man running around. No, there are many people that are extraterrestrials, or higher evolved beings that look just like you or I, and there are many lower people that look just like you and I, but there's also many lower evolved beings that look reptilian. And yes, this is completely covered up. But see, the thing is, it's not covered up, because there's light workers on the planet that have had a huge awakening. And we have what's called remote view. It's not me, it's all of us. We are around the planet. We have this capability of tuning into what these secret societies are doing, or these people, these agencies are doing, or the darker forces are doing, as an observation, not as we can never interfere with free will. You can't do that, but as an observation, and we can see. So it's almost like we always see now the powers that be, the powers that were. Really, it's the powers that were, because when thousands of people have awoken to the truth, that power really doesn't exist anymore, because it's just there's too many people that have woken up, and even people within the government have woken up. It's not, we can't just say, you know, I ran around for a long time and I hated my government because I found out that there was a part of them that was involved with the rituals of the baby sacrificing, and they take the Israelites and they do it on the 30 and the 33rd meridians of the planet, and they've done it under the Vatican, and they you know, so this is just stuff like I'm coming up with this stuff. This is common knowledge, and it baffles me that people just want to say, oh no, it doesn't happen, and they let another ritual happen, and they let another pedophile thing happen, and they want to close their eyes, and they want to pretend that the elites aren't controlling the country, that the elites aren't controlling the stargates, when underneath, you know, when you look at Iraq, and underneath Iraq which is one of our stargates, is the stuff from Sumeria, which Sumeria gives us all the information we ever wanted to know about the ET races. But of course, that's what the darker forces came in and we took when we thought there were weapons of mass destruction. But you know, I could go on and on about the political things and the involvement of HAARP and how they had to do with Hurricane Isaac and Japan. I mean, this is not anything that's not common knowledge. This is big knowledge, and we understand that the darker forces live off of terror. And you know, it's time to well, to most people, they're the powers that were. So it's just time to recognize that we have moved into a golden age, and the people on the planet have awoken. We've awakened to the higher consciousness. Now this consciousness in this DNA awakening, you have to remember that if there's one message I will forever go give to the planet, that these light beings tell me over and over again. And you know, people want to talk me out of that. These light beings aren't real. These light beings are of Satan. These light beings, save your soul. It's funny because, you know, what's sad is that the Christians are the Christians are just here. They've been just fed information. Oh, the Lord's going to save you. Just believe in the Lord. They've probably never even read the Bible, and they just are fed information. And it's just. But if you ever talk to a real Christian, if you ever talk to an educated, scientific, well-known, well-studied monothesis Christian, or somebody from the monothesis religion, well, let's say Christian, they're very educated on the extraterrestrials, and they're very knowledgeable on the Book of Revelations, and they're not like, oh, Jesus is, no, that they're very educated, a true Christian. But most of them are really lost in the Jesus preaching, and that's very, very sad. But you will understand that we are all one, that we are getting an upgrade, and in this upgrade, you have to understand that a long time ago, let's say the Roman times, before, you know, Constantine, before the Roman times, we were pagan. There was a pagan religion. It was before Christianity. We were a pagan society, and a lot of information, the Gnostics, in the books, the libraries of Alexandria, many stuff was taken out of the Bible, and it was burned. And it was burned for a reason, because they needed to have control. And if you really want, I can go into other videos on, there's other reasons that they needed to have control. Now, when you go into really studying when the Anunnaki came, and you want to get into that, we at one time were evolved beings with a 12-strand DNA helix. We were altered down to a 2-strand DNA helix, which greatly inhibited the truth of our being. And they say it's just junk DNA now. It's not junk DNA. The truth is that other part of our DNA is not junk DNA. It's the awakening. It's the other 12 strands that we need, that we're awakening to. And it's many people are awakening. Our DNA is awakening. You'll find that you don't sleep as much. You can live on solar chi. We were never meant to be sick. The body was meant to last thousands and thousands of years. You're not meant to lose your loved one. We were never meant to be in poverty. We were all one. We always cared about each other. We had the ability to control the climate. We didn't live in these conditions. But what happened is we fell short of our oneness, and the government took a lot of things happened. You know, we all agreed to be at this space and this time, and we all agreed to be on the planet right now, and we all agreed to show up for the golden age. So we don't want to blame anyone. It's not the government's fault. It's not the ET race's fault. It's not. They were in agreement too. This is all of ours. Now it's the time to unite. Now it's the time, you know, at the end of the cycle, and you're going to be asked to evaluate your life. You're going to be asked where you are on the cycle of the wheel. What's going on with you? What have you learned? What have you accomplished? Where do you want to go? Do you want to remain on this planet? There's other planets. There's other races. You're going to be asked to have some really tall questions. You cannot tell me right now that you're not doing some soul searching, and you're wondering who you are and where you're going to be and what's happening, and do you even like what you're doing? Do you like your partner? Do you want to do this or change? There's a lot of changes going on, and it's for a reason, because Mother Earth is changing. We are awakening to the fact that we're all gods, and we've been gypped for a long time, and there's a lot of stories that have been involved, but it's true. We were meant to be much more than we are. And if we can unite as a whole, as humanity, if we can wake up to the fact that we were all placed here for we're all on an evolutionary planet. You might be from somewhere and I might be from somewhere, but we're all on an evolutionary planet. And whether you agree with that or not, you cannot disagree with there's a creator, and that under that creator we are all one. We are all one. Whatever storyline you put in the middle of that, we're all one, because I will tell you, you're going to be awakening to this. You're going to be awakening out of the third dimensional reality into the fifth dimensional reality, and it's a really shaky process to get there. But if you haven't awakened yet, you're going to be awakening. And if you choose to stay in ignorance that this isn't happening and fight what is, and discredit what is, and not go with the flow and be dominant left brain. There's a lot of left brain people. I want proof. I want proof. How does she know anything more than that? What is that? If you can't find it in yourself, if you can't see it in yourself, you can't see it. I'm not going to prove it to you. If you don't have your right brain developed, it's going to get developed, because we're going out of the third dimensional world. All the garbage is coming out now. But if you don't have your right brain developed, I'm not going to prove it to you, and other people are just, you're going to be lost now, because, well, really, you're going to be awakened actually, because the right brain, we are going into the right brain development. Your right brain will be developed more, but it's going to be harder for some people to get there. They're going to have to really lose a lot. And we've been conditioned in a world of duality. We are not separate. We are one. Television has destroyed us. It's destroyed us. Competition shows has destroyed us. It's one of the, it's part of being trapped in the matrix. But I think that I know more and more people are awakening to something different. So I just wanted to get out a whole bunch of information, just get you educated on what is happening. There's a lot of stuff in the Book of Revelations that you can follow, that you'll kind of get a more guideline. If, like I said, if you can find a real true Christian that can guide you through that, they're very good at that. There's also tons of people that are very educated on interdimensional travel. You know, there's a reason that these light beings come to me and they come to many other people, because we are all getting educated on the interdimensional beings and the love. And some people want to call them ETs, some people want to call them angels, some people want to call them your higher self that has incarnated within you. So whatever way you want to put it, I wouldn't get too lost in words, and I would really allow yourself to go within, go to your higher power that you understand, because I believe that the higher power will guide you to your truth. I always tell people, take what you want and leave the rest, because it's information, and what's going to resonate with you is going to be your truth. There's not just one timeline we're living in. There's a whole bunch of different realities. God is very big, very, very big. There's no limitation. So anyway, I just wanted to connect with you, and I hope that helped.